Campbell, and welcome to the sets of Party of Five. I'm here to talk to you about Tourette's syndrome. You know, every time I enter this set, I experience a wave of memories. Some of them are fond ones, and some of them I'd rather forget. For instance, the first day of school for me was both exciting and terrifying all at once. What will happen to me this year? What if nobody likes me? Will I fit in? Will I be able to handle the work? Will I like my teacher? Will my teacher like me? Am I attractive enough? Will I be popular? I remember how these thoughts ran through my head, and I don't doubt that at least some of these troubling thoughts crossed your mind as well on that very important first day of the school year. Imagine getting ready for school one morning with all of these insecurities racing around in your mind. You're trying to cover up a pesky zit or glue down a cowlick, and you feel like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. Now, add these possibilities. What if you make your entrance into the classroom, hiding your nervousness behind a cool facade and some new clothes, and as the tension heightens, you have a spontaneous urge to bark, to yell out your innermost thoughts, to curse, to spin your body, to punch the air or spit uncontrollably. And as you attempt to control these impulses, they get louder and faster. You're literally trapped inside your body, out of control, desperately wishing that it could all stop and everyone would stop staring and laughing and you could just sit down quietly and be like everyone else. What if this were happening to you? How would you feel as you prepared for school each day?
This imaginary scene is a daily reality for many children and teens living with Tourette's syndrome. Hi, I'm Christian Campbell. TS is a neurological disorder that affects 1 in 100 people. People carrying the TS gene range from being normal to seriously incapacitated. Symptoms may be internal, with muscular spasms, involuntary thoughts, or mood swings, often unnoticed by others, or large spontaneous sounds and movements, as described earlier. In a society where we're overwhelmed with images of normalcy and perfection, Tourette's syndrome places the person outside the standards of desirable behavior. Involuntary movements, vocalizations, facial twitches, sudden mood swings, and learning difficulties keep the person with TS on the edge of social discomfort, never knowing if a dinner out, a trip to the theater, a first date, or a final exam may be interrupted by a body, your body, out of control. Despite the increase of diagnosis of this disorder, few people know the facts. Lack of public awareness leads to judgment, misunderstanding, and cruelty towards those with TS, increasing the challenge as they strive to fit in with their peers.
Whenever our younger brother Damien, who has Tourette's syndrome, started a new school year, there were always incidents of cruelty towards him as kids discovered that he was different. The schoolyard became a nightmare for him as his peers taunted and teased him about his odd behavior. Because they didn't know or understand about TS, they were unaware of the cruelty they were inflicting. The more they teased him, the more self-conscious he became. The harder he tried to control his tics, the harder they came. Over time, he developed a school phobia which made him unable to attend classes and isolated him even further in his battle to live a normal life.
This type of cruel behavior is often motivated by fear of the unknown, the unusual, the unexplained.
In Damien's case, he was lucky. Our mom, who works as a public educator in various fields, took it upon herself to go into the schools and speak about what it is to have Tourette's syndrome, to be visibly different, to have additional challenges while growing up. She explained the how, why, and what about TS, as well as what others could do to make it easier for anyone who appears different.
The effects of these educational sessions were immediate. Many kids surrounded Damien with support and acceptance, becoming his friends and protectors as they watched out for him when his symptoms increased or when he was a victim of ridicule. As their understanding of Damien grew, he was able to come to peace with his condition. He too got involved in educating his classmates and teachers about Tourette's syndrome, encouraging compassion and tolerance towards anyone who's different from the mainstream. This experience has been an inspiration for our family. We saw the results that just a little education had in turning people's attitudes around, opening their hearts to others, and in helping Damien accept himself. It was then that we made a commitment to get involved in educating the public about this common, yet largely unknown disorder.
So now we are very pleased to announce our current endeavor, to produce a 25-minute video. We'll share with you the stories of courage, perseverance, and triumph of individuals who have overcome the challenges of Tourette syndrome and have excelled in their lives, their chosen careers, and families despite this troubling disorder. We will provide information on the symptoms of TS, both visible and internal, some insights into how various people manage to cope with the disorder, as well as ways that others can be supportive. We hope to create a valuable resource for teachers, counselors, and medical professionals.
Maybe some other little kid will use this tape to teach their classmates about what it is to be different.
If you would like to know more about Tourette syndrome, the mysteries, the findings, the many wonderful people who live with this puzzling disorder,
or what you can do to help, please contact the Tourette Syndrome Association, 1-800-237-0717.